That is 4 years of my life on a linoleum floor. 4 years of braiding, brushing, hiding behind it. And the woman holding the scissors, a 70-year-old retired punk rocker who gives perms to grandmas. This is the story of how I lost my hair and found something I didn't know I was missing. My name is Chloe. I'm 18. And until last month, my hair was my entire personality. Not because I wanted it to be, but because when my mom left when I was 13, no one taught me what else to hold on to. Dad worked nights, sometimes doubles. He loved me, but he didn't know how to braid, or how to say I was beautiful without all that length, so I grew it until it reached my lower back, then my waist, then my bottom. I told myself it was art, and it was, but it was also a wall. I live in a town called Oak Ridge. Population 3,200. Stoplights, 1. Hair salons, also 1. It's called Hairlines. And for my entire life, I only saw one type of woman walk in or out. The kind who asks for a little off the ends and leaves looking like a poodle. No offense to poodles. My friends and I drove 40 minutes to the nearest city for haircuts, or we just didn't cut it. I didn't cut it for 4 straight years. Her name is Marge Potts, and she is always outside, talking, laughing, asking about your mom, remembering your grandma's birthday. She's the town's unofficial memory bank. She did my Nana's hair for 20 years. My Nana died when I was 12. But Marge still mentions her like she just left yesterday. That's why I could never be rude to her, even when I wanted to run the other way. I avoided that door like it owed me money. But on a warm Tuesday morning in May, I made a mistake. Finals were 2 weeks away. I was supposed to be studying. Instead, I was walking to meet my friends at the diner. I felt good. Sun on my skin, hair swishing, white dress, the one that made me feel pretty without trying too hard. "Well, look at you, sunshine," Marge called out from her doorway. I stopped, smiled, and immediately started calculating the fastest polite exit. "That ponytail must reach your back pockets by now," she said. It actually reached lower, but I wasn't going to prove it. "Hi, Marge. Good to see you. I'm late, so." "Your Nana would have let me fix those ends. She never let them get ragged." And that's how she got me. Every single time, she didn't push. She just reminded me of someone I missed. "Come inside, just for a minute. I'll get you a cold drink and we'll talk about those ends." I checked my phone. Friends were running late anyway. I told myself 10 minutes, a juice box, a polite thank you, I'll think about it, then leave. I didn't know that 10 minutes would turn into an hour, or that I wouldn't recognize the girl who walked out. "'Kay," I said. Marge beamed. And I crossed a line I never thought I would. Inside was not what I expected. It wasn't old lady frumpy. It was 1980s punk trying to survive in 2026. Bold colors, sharp lines, a chair that looked like it belonged on a spaceship, and everywhere photos, not the soft perms I saw on her customers, but spikes, fades, shaved shapes, things I'd only seen in old music videos. Marge handed me a glass of orange juice, wrapped me in a cape that smelled like lavender and hairspray, and then she just looked at me. My goodness, when's the last time someone with real length sat in this chair? I don't know, ever. Honestly, probably your Nana. And then she showed me the album, the one she doesn't show the weekly shampoo and set crowd. "That's me, 1984, she said, pointing to a beautiful young woman with an incredibly sharp, short bob. I nearly choked on my orange juice. She turned the page. "That's also me. 1986. This sweet grandma who smelled like powder and kindness used to look like she'd punch a sexist and then ask for more hairspray." I pointed to one photo before I could stop myself. "That one." The wedge, good eye, it was my signature. It wasn't soft. It wasn't feminine in the way I'd been taught. It was powerful. "It would look incredible on you," Marge said casually. I laughed, a nervous, high-pitched laugh. "I could never." That's what I said. In 1983. Then I did it anyway. She didn't push. She just laid out the tools, combs, clips, scissors, and the clippers. The sound of them turning on was like a beehive waking up. She caught my eyes in the mirror. "Chloe, I'm not going to do anything you don't want, but I will tell you this. You've been hiding behind that hair for 4 years, and I think you know it." My throat tightened. No one had ever said that out loud. Was she right? Was I hiding? I thought about my mom leaving, about not having anyone to show me how to be a woman, about how my hair became the only thing I controlled. "Do it," I said quietly. "You sure?" "Yes." She lifted my ponytail, pulled it taut, and paused one last time. I nodded, the scissors closed. 4 years gone in one sound. She tied a rubber band around the cut ponytail and placed it on the shelf like a relic, like she knew what I'd just given up. And then the clippers turned on. Cold air hit my neck for the first time in years. I fought the instinct to duck, to say stop and run, but I didn't. Because Marge was humming, some old punk song I didn't recognize, and she was smiling. "Got a great head shape. Some people don't, you do." I didn't know that was a compliment until right then. She spent 15 minutes on the back alone, fatting it down to nothing. Skin around my ears, smooth as a stone. Is it all gone? I asked shakily. All the top stays, but the back, yes, and it's beautiful. She spritzed the top with water, combed it straight back from my forehead. And then with scissors that looked like tiny swords, she started cutting. Section by section, creating the wedge, layers, graduation, a defined ledge. I couldn't follow the technique, but I saw the shape emerging, sharp, angular, decisive. This wasn't a haircut, it was a sculpture. She applied a little product, worked it through the top with her fingers. A short blast from the blow dryer, shaping as she went. And then she put down every tool, unclipped the cape, and stepped back. She held up a hand mirror behind me. I stared at my reflection. I didn't speak for 10 seconds. The girl in the mirror had sharp cheekbones I'd never noticed, a jawline I'd hidden under curtains of chestnut hair, and a haircut that said don't mess with me and come talk to me at the same time. Marge, I look like a different person. No, honey, you look like you. I couldn't stop touching it. The back was like velvet. The top was like a soft brush. And my neck, I'd forgotten I had one. Much do I owe you? First big chop is free, for girls who remind me of myself. I tried to argue. She wouldn't let me. She pushed a small broom, sweeping my hair into a pile. Just promise me one thing. Don't grow it back because someone tells you to. Only grow it back if you want to. I nodded, and I meant it. I stayed another 20 minutes. Not because I felt obligated, because I wanted to. We sat in the salon chairs with our glasses of juice in the late afternoon light. I used to do this for magazines, for album covers, for people who wanted to shock their parents, she said. She came back to Oak Ridge when her mom got sick, took over the family salon, renamed it Hairlines, and waited for the city to follow. They never did, so she did perms and sets, and listened to the same 6 ladies talk about the same 6 things for 30 years. I don't regret it, but I did forget what this felt like. Someone feel like themselves. I realized then she didn't just give me a haircut. I gave her back a memory of who she used to be. I walked toward the diner. My friends had texted me 7 times. I didn't answer. I wanted them to see me first. The warm breeze hit my skin. No hair to block it, no ponytail to swish, just me. I reached the table. 3 faces looked up, mouths open. Oh my God, Megan said. Chloe, Sarah gasped. Jess just stared for a long moment, then a slow smile spread across her face. Wait, I actually love it. They reached out to touch my head like I was an artifact, and for the first time in years I didn't flinch. What did Marge say to you? Megan asked. She said I was hiding. I didn't answer. Because I didn't need to anymore, I walked home that evening. The sun was lower now, casting long shadows across Oak Ridge's empty streets. My heart was pounding for a different reason now, not fear of what my friends thought, fear of what my dad would say. He was already home when I walked through the door. That was unusual. He worked doubles on Tuesdays, but there he was, sitting at the kitchen table with a cold cup of coffee and a stack of mail he wasn't reading. He looked up. His mouth opened, then closed, then opened again. Stood in the doorway, my bare neck suddenly feeling very exposed. My hand instinctively went to the back of my head where there was nothing but soft stubble. Hey, Dad. He stood up slowly, walked toward me. I braced myself for disappointment, for confusion. For that look he always gave me when he didn't understand something I'd done. He stopped in front of me. He reached out. His hand hovered near my head like he was afraid to touch. You look. He stopped, swallowed. His eyes were wet. I'd never seen my father cry. Not when Mom left. Not when his own mother passed. Not ever. You look exactly like your grandmother did in her wedding photo, he finally said. His voice cracked on the last word. I never told you that story. She chopped all her hair off the day before she married my father, drove her own mother crazy, but she said she wanted to walk down the aisle as herself, not as someone's idea of a bride. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know this story. I didn't know my dad knew stories like this. She would have loved this, he said, finally touching the back of my head with a rough, calloused hand. She would have loved you. I hugged him. The kind of hug we hadn't shared since I was small enough to fit in his lap. I felt his shoulders shake just a little. I'm sorry I wasn't there, he whispered into my hair, or what was left of it. For all of it, the hair, the mom stuff, all of it. Dad, I should have been there. I pulled back and looked at him, tired eyes. Gray at the temples. He worked himself into the ground to keep a roof over our heads, and I'd been so focused on what I didn't have that I forgot to see what I did. Here now, I said. That was enough. For both of us, he smiled then. A real smile, the kind that reached his eyes. Then he stepped back and tilted his head, studying me like he was seeing me for the first time. Does this mean I don't have to unclog the shower drain every week? He asked. I laughed. A loud, genuine laugh that surprised us both. Anymore, I said. He nodded. Good, that thing was a menace. We ate dinner together that night, the first time in months. He asked about Marge, about the salon, about the friends at the diner. He listened, really listened. And when I went to bed, I touched my shaved nape one last time and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Home, not a house. Home. I still miss my long hair sometimes. In the shower, when I reach for a ponytail that isn't there. In old photos, when I see the girl I used to be, but I don't miss hiding. And I don't miss waiting for someone to show me who I was. Marge turns 72 next month. She's thinking about offering bold cuts again. One Tuesday a month. For anyone who wants to feel like themselves. My dad and I have dinner together every Tuesday now. He calls it salon night. He asks about Marge's stories. He asks about my week. He asks about me. And I tell him. Sometimes he looks at me with that same wet-eyed expression he had that first night. He still doesn't say much about Mom, but he says enough. He says, I'm proud of you more often now. And I believe him. The ends of my hair are blunt. Even. Exactly where I want them. And for the first time in 4 years, I know exactly who I'm looking at in the mirror. If this story hits something in you, I want to hear about it. Have you ever made a change that scared you? Something small or something huge? Maybe a haircut. Maybe a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe walking through a door you've been running past for years. Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Because the thing I learned from Marge, from my dad, from standing in that faded pink and chrome salon is that we're all just figuring this out. Every single one of us. Marge thought she was done making bold choices. My dad thought he'd missed his chance to be present. I thought my hair was the only thing I could control. We were all wrong. So if you're waiting for permission to change something, consider this your sign. You don't need a flawless plan. You don't need everyone's approval. You just need one person who sees you. And sometimes, that person has to be you. If you want more stories about ordinary people making brave decisions, hit subscribe. Ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Because I have a feeling Marge isn't done with her Tuesday transformations yet, and neither am I. Thanks for listening. For sitting with me in that salon chair. For staying until the very end. Now go do the thing you've been telling yourself you can't. I'll see you in the next story.